This YouTuber who lives in Canada came out to talk about why Africans are leaving Canada back to Africa, especially Nigerians. And most Nigerians were on this comment section and they had this to say. You see, I will say something. Okay, let me read your comments before I say something about this Japa syndrome and everybody wanting to leave. In as much as you have a house in Nigeria, you are comfortable. When I mean comfortable, you can afford to pay bills, do something and all, and you take your children to go school. Let one of the parents go with those children. Each time is holiday, you come back. Don't sell off everything and leave your business. Some people have very good businesses here and you leave. If it is because of the children, one particular parent should go. Then the other parent that stays in Nigeria could go there and always visit and come back. Don't sell everything, because the life in Canada does not just say if you go to Canada everything will be fine. It's the same hustle you are hustling. In fact, when you go to all these first world countries, you hustle 3 times more than your own home country. The things we suffer in Nigeria or in Africa is bad leadership, kidnapping, all of those things. But the truth is that people still travel abroad and get killed by police officers. The same way it happens in Nigeria. Yes, some people still go abroad and still die of depression. Meanwhile, in Nigeria, you can walk around and maybe you see a friend that can give you something. But there is difficult for you to even see somebody who will call you and say, come and eat. Do you understand? Except that Nigerians are used to community living. Anyway, let me read this. Somebody said 85% of people who come to Canada from Nigeria gets to regret the move. This one say, and they start YouTube channels as soon as they arrive. I wonder if the channel is what makes other Nigerians want to come. Then the third person that replies say they can as well go back to Niger. Africans have greedy expectations. Come back to Niger. Obviously, Niger is getting better. Really? Another person say everywhere you go in this world, you have to work hard. Exactly what I said. To succeed, do your research before you come. Africans like quick money. If somebody told you that money grew in the trees in Canada, it's a mistake. Canada is a good country. Stay in Nigeria if you struggle with culture, because there are a lot of cultural shocks you will have if you travel to Canada, my people. Someone said Africans are very loud people. They talk on the phone as the other end in a mile away. Learn Dutch language. Somebody said learn Dutch language online. There are a lot of jobs in the Netherlands also for foreigners, but you need to have basic Dutch for a work visa. Another person said so much of the violent crime here will be reduced if more of these folks leave. Canada should definitely become safer again. Really? And that person said Canada is a beautiful place, but if you want to sell your soul for money and lose your family, come to Canada. But if you don't love money and you love your family, stay in Africa. This is the devil's nation. Really? No, now don't say that. There are people who live in Canada and they are still doing well. They still, And that person said, you're right, but it wasn't Canada. You are right, but if it wasn't Canada, I could not help my brothers and sisters to continue their studies. Now I am paying my rent in Kigali for $300,000, which was my dream. So I don't regret to come to Canada. Now, my plan is to work here for just 10 years, finish the pay, my beautiful house, and come back. Of course, my kids will decide to back or not, because they are Canadians. You see, that place he mentioned is in Kenya, right? He said he would rather stay there for 10 years. Like me, I don't know. I don't feel I will be able to live outside the country or outside Nigeria. I can go and come back for business. Like, if I must stay there, maybe for my kids' reason, maybe for a few years they will be there, but I'll be back. Because I love to go to an open market and shop and buy fresh things and cook. I don't like things that are preserved. No. Another person say, I can remember all these videos in snow with the man singing Canada. Another person say, great point here, sir. However, understand that each situation is totally different. And Canada is vast and many have found stability in this country, and many who do live do not do so unless they become citizens of the land, keeping for themselves an open revolving door to eventually come back when the inflation and economy gets better. So do not let anyone tickle your fancy to obliteration, something like that. Obliteration English. Somebody say live so that we can come and make a good life for ourselves. Another person say great content as always. This one say thanks for the continuous informative videos. You couldn't have said it better. Another person say going back is an option if they haven't sold off all assets back home before the japa, unless they are trapped and can't go back home because there is nothing left there for them. Yes, a lot of people make that mistake of selling off their assets, and then when something happens, if you want to travel, I will advise you to borrow money and travel, so that you from there you tell the person that, okay, give me like a year and 6 months to pay back this money. So be paying back small. Don't sell your properties to travel out, because if anything happens in that home country, or maybe your child gets into a fight and something happened and they deport you, you are coming back to Nigeria to start all over again. Do not sell. It's my advice. So another person say grass not always green on the other side, and none the streets are either paved with gold. This one say yes, for holidays I'm back home. This one say this brother from this country is great. The people find out earlier. Canadian sells a good market, but the high taxes and housing costs can leave you with enough bus fare to get back to work. Or this one say Africans, they have to go back to their original countries. It's better for them to return home and build back home. This one say at this point I think there are better countries to relocate to. Canada was a good option then, not anymore. If you are a couple, not anymore. This one say if one wants to come to Canada with the intention to work, save and go back home, means no research was done before coming. A doctor or lawyer shouldn't make that kind of mistake, because a doctor or lawyer should not make that kind of mistake. Because of what? Let's see what that person is saying. Because of the high education they have. Africa is rough place to survive when you are poor. Anyone from the first world who goes to live in the third world has loads of money with intention to create business. Life is very complicated with a lot of complexity. Sorry, only the strong survive. You who ask why they still live in Canada are not normal. According to you, a person who lives in a foreign country and who has difficulty integrating and does not have the financial resources necessary to survive must continue to suffer like this. Many of those who return to do not judge their return on the fact that there is no water or light or kidnapping in Africa. They judge on the basis of their way of life that they had in their countries, living in Canada. This video is not to say you shouldn't jackpot. If you want to stay jackpot, by all means jackpot.